Before the world knew Minister DUNSIN OYEKAN, before his songs became worship anthems around the world, he used to lead a choir called the Avalanche, COZA's music team, Reverend Biodo Fatoyibo's church. Oh yes, Minister DUNSIN did a great job while he was at COZA. Under his leadership, the Avalanche became one of the best choirs in Africa. They won great awards and many gospel music legends praised them. But while Minister DUNSIN was helping the choir in COZA grow, COZA was also helping him grow. The excellence, the passion, and the deep worship you see in his ministry today, it all started from that season in COZA. There's so much to learn from this story. By the end of the video, you will be glad you watched all the way through. So come with me as we look into the incredible story of Minister DUNSIN OYEKAN and COZA. Minister DUNSIN OYEKAN was raised in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. His father, Pastor Gbadebo OYEKAN, was not only a preacher but also a singer. By the age of 10, DUNSIN was already playing the guitar and composing his own melodies. He spent much of his life in Ilorin, where he completed his primary and secondary education as well as his university studies. Meanwhile, in 1999, as DUNSIN OYEKAN was growing up in Ilorin, something significant was happening in the city. Reverend Biodo Fatoyibo was starting COZA, a church that would soon become a powerful force in the community. Little did Minister DUNSIN know that this church, planted right in his city, would play a key role in shaping his journey and destiny. In the early days, the church began to attract a lot of young people, especially from the University of Ilorin. Amongst those who became part of COZA in those early years was DUNSIN OYEKAN. He was already passionate about music and loved God deeply, so it was natural for him to get involved in the worship team. Fast forward to 2008, Reverend Biodo Fatoyibo sensed it was time to take a bold step. He decided to plant a new branch of COZA in Abuja, the very capital of Nigeria. This was a major turning point, as that Abuja branch would eventually grow into COZA's main headquarters, becoming the central hub for the global impact we see today. Among those who moved with the ministry was DUNSIN OYEKAN, who had already been involved in COZA's music team back in Ilorin. That same year, COZA officially formed its music group known as the Avalanche. Over time, Minister DUNSIN played a key role in the growth and excellence of this choir, eventually serving as its music director. You see, the Avalanche wasn't just another choir. Their sound was different, full of depth, and full of life. You could feel the presence of God in it. Real, tangible, unforgettable. Minister DUNSIN did not even start out as a singer. Oh yes, he was just the bass guitarist, quiet, focused, playing and leading the team from the background. But in that environment, surrounded by fire and excellence, something began to shift. Minister DUNSIN was encouraged, influenced, and eventually drawn into singing and leading worship. So from the bass line, he went straight to the front line.
I proclaim you are the one backing me up. I proclaim.
You see, DUNSIN OYEKAN's journey in COZA was no coincidence. He brought in a new flavor to the choir, introducing fresh medleys and mashups that completely redefined the way worship was expressed. Reverend Biodo Fatoibo, a passionate lover of excellent music, invested both resources and vision to see the music ministry thrive in his church. His goal was clear. He wanted Minister DUNSIN and the whole team to be among the very best. As time progressed, Minister DUNSIN found himself on the same stage with gospel legends like Dom Wen, Ty Tribet, Nathaniel Bassey, Kurt Carr, William Murphy, and many more. Although he wasn't always the main act, but he was always there, ready to assist, ready to play, and serve in any way needed whenever these incredible ministers came to COZA. He may not have been in the spotlight at that time, but he was fully present, learning from the very best, soaking in the atmosphere of greatness, and making the most of every opportunity to grow. I'm telling you. And as COZA continued to host Global Voices, Minister DUNSIN's exposure kept expanding. In fact, he even had the opportunity to sing with Kim Burrell. This moment marked a major shift in his ministry. I'm sure you know the song.
Somebody raise those hands and say, we exalt you. Oh God.
So from the bass guitar to worship leading, his growth was steady and deeply rooted in service. COZA became more than a platform. It became his training ground. There he was shaped in excellence, boldness, and spirituality. And that was not by accident. It was intentional and intense. Like gold refined in fire, Minister DUNSIN came out prepared to minister to nations. But it wasn't just about what he gained alone. Minister DUNSIN gave a lot of himself. Under his leadership, the Avalanche entered a new season, one marked by originality, creativity, and a powerful, uplifting sound. And even after Minister DUNSIN moved on, his influence never left. His time with the Avalanche helped push the choir into global recognition with a sound that still blesses hearts today. Eventually, that season came to an end in 2016. Minister DUNSIN OYEKAN quietly and respectfully resigned as COZA's music director. Without any public drama, he stepped away to establish his own worship ministry and focus on his personal calling. He was led to make this change as it was a season where God wanted to reintroduce him to the body of Christ, not as a music director, but as a worship minister. Later that same year, in 2016, he released his first official album titled Code Red. It featured popular songs like Just You and Me, If All I Say Is Jesus, Miraculous God, Do To Me What You Want, and many other powerful sounds. One thing we know is that the foundation built in COZA played a great role in Minister DUNSIN's rise to global impact and recognition. So this story shows us something powerful, and that is, greatness often starts in hidden places. Long before the world sang the songs, he was in the background, serving, learning, and growing. He wasn't chasing the spotlight. He was simply faithful with what was in his hands. It also reminds us that environment matter. Being planted in a place that values excellence, spirituality, and boldness can shape a person in ways that words cannot describe. Minister DUNSIN's time in COZA wasn't just about talent. It was about training, discipline, and spiritual depth. He worked so hard while he was in COZA. His contribution left a mark, not just on the choir, but on everyone who encountered the sound they carried. So whether you are behind the scenes or holding a mic, Never underestimate the season you're in. Like Minister DUNSIN, you may just be in training for a global assignment. But have you ever wondered how Minister DUNSIN has remained so consistent over the years? How he seems to have cracked the code for music ministry on a global level? Have you ever wondered why every song he releases becomes a blessing again and again? And how he has managed to succeed in areas where many others struggle? If those questions have ever crossed your mind, then this next video on your screen is exactly what you need to watch. I'll see you there.